where to draw the line between being responsible and being possessive. Because for someone to really put his heart into something, then he must have a feeling that, okay, this is my area of responsibility. But that may also lead to the second problem of possessiveness. So
there's material possessiveness and spiritual. When the spiritual master gives you a service, or where Krishna gives you a service, we have responsibility for that service. In one sense, we have to own that service. 100 times, 1,000,000 times more than a materialist owns their house or owns their family responsibilities. We should own our service. But we're always completely conscious that it's Krishna's property. We are doing it as a service, not as a proprietor. We make advancement by taking responsibility. That means if you're asked by your authorities to do something else, immediately you're willing to give it up and do something else and own that service. And own that service. And own that. If you're asked to do a different service every single day, you're willing to just give it up and do it. Because nothing is yours except the right to serve. So we should not feel an egoistic possessiveness, that this is mine. All that's mine is the opportunity to serve and the responsibility to serve. Prabhupada said to Krishna in his prayer, "Let me be your puppet." If Krishna wants the puppet to do a particular service, heart, soul, everything, full responsibility to do that. But if the puppeteer takes you to something else, you give it up immediately and go on. So there's a difference between taking responsibility for devotional service and thinking I'm the proprietor. You're not the proprietor. You're the servant. And you could go anywhere and do anything. And that was Vritrasura's glory. He was a great king. And he was cursed to be a demon. He wasn't attached to his kingdom. Who else is going to do it? He was like, no. Krishna, you want me to be a demon? I'll be a demon. He took full responsibility as the king of the demons. Krishna gave him that service. And he was so responsible. He was leading all the other demons like the best of the kings. He was fighting for them with his full energy because it was his service. But when Krishna brought him back to Godhead, fully absorbed himself in that. So be attached to the service. But our service is to be responsible. If you have a preaching field, you have to take total responsibility for that preaching field, but never think it's yours. You're doing it on behalf of the higher powers. That's all. On behalf of the higher powers. And if the higher powers want you to do something else, we have no attachment. We're only attached to doing what they want us to do. That is pure devotional service. Sometimes even in Krishna consciousness, a person's in a position and they become so materially entrenched in that position that they think it's totally spiritual. But when the seniors say do something else, no, only I can do it, I have to do it. That means there's a material sense of I and mine. Tamal Krishna Goswami had the biggest, most successful devotee-making, preaching-making project in the entire world. Radha Damodar's traveling Sankirtan party. And he was the main person to develop it into that, distributing more of Prabhupada's books than any other entity ever did in history, and making more devotees faster than anybody in history. It was unbelievable. And you can't do that without taking total responsibility. It wasn't that he was just, oh, Krishna, you're in control, I'll do what I feel like doing. He was working, he was struggling, he was sacrificing, he was anything. If it took total suffering, anxieties, headaches, he was willing to do it because he was responsible for it. It's Prabhupada gave me this project, it's my project, I must do it for Prabhupada. But what was the test of his pure devotional service? Prabhupada told him, I'm taking it away from you now, go to China. In one day. Prabhupada said, go to China. Radha Damodar traveling Sankirtan party is no longer yours. After years of developing it and getting so much fame and glory for it and such amazing results. And what did Tamal Krishna Goswami do? He went to China. Just gave up Radha Damodar Sankirtan part, just immediately just gave it up and went. And what did he do in China? He took full, total responsibility. It wasn't easy. He had to disguise himself behind the Iron Curtain and all kinds of dangerous things and innovative, creative. You had to be absolutely fixed. It wasn't that he was just going thinking, Krishna will do, and I'll just, do I'll do a little here and a little there because Prabhupada told me. He just focused. Total responsibility, total engrossment, anxieties, life risks, threats, so many obstacles to overcome. And he did it all and started making hundreds of devotees in China, single-handedly. Underground centers. Hare Krishna. Does that answer your question?
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.